Hello viewers, welcome to All4 E-Learning app. In the previous sessions we have discussed about the importance of map, right? What are the different kinds of maps we have, everything that we have discussed. So that is what a part that you have studied which is related to the geographical features. Now today let us discuss about from gathering food to growing food of the earliest people. Okay, so how the earliest people started growing their crops and how they started collecting the crops. Before that, what is the work that they have done? These are the things that we are going to learn in this chapter. Okay, this is chapter that is of chapter 6 of your textbook. So in this, the earliest people, they sustained themselves by collecting or by having like fruits, right, and by hunting animals, and they also collected some edible grains, and there are some tubers which can be found in the ground. You see the potato that we can get it from the ground surface, right? So that is a tubers that they also found from the ground, and they used this as in the form of their food. And not only that, they also collected some, the plants which they can eat, okay, and also with the help of these plants and with the help of animals, they started making themselves by using the different cloths which is purely extracted from the bark of the trees as well as from the skin of the animals. So in this way, the earliest people, they sustained themselves living in the forest. So children, if I leave you in the forest for one day or for a week, how can you live in that? So we don't know what are the things that it can be available over there. See, for example, if you go to the new building, as we discussed in the earlier topic, we'll be having the different directions and the symbols in that particular building. By seeing that, we can know that there are some restrooms, there are some water, right? So in such a way, we can move to the areas where we have some need of something, we can get it. But whereas in the forest, is there any routes or any map that can be shown over there that if you go to this direction, you can find some water, or you can find some fruit, or you can find some plants? We don't know this, right? So how these early people, okay, how these earliest people come to know all these things? Because, for example, you have seen a plant. You can say that, madam, there are many trees or many plants, we can get the fruits from there. But do you know that all the fruits which can be given by the plants can be taken as a food? No, there are some, the fruits which can give us a poison also. Sometimes even we don't know, we'll be having a habit of eating some fruits and we know that these are the things that we have to throw out, right? The peel of the skin, for example, if you see the banana, we'll be throwing out the peel, right? And if you see the fruits which have a seeds inside, we'll be eating the, the juice, and we will enjoy that and we'll be throwing out. We all know all these things, but certainly there are some fruits which cannot be eaten, which cannot be taken, okay, because which gives us as poison. So these all the things were known by the earliest people in those days. How they come to know all these things, right? For example, the research, right? The word, the research. In the same way, these people also, as they were living around 1000 years ago, they were habituated themselves to live in the forest by knowing that, by seeing that in which area they can find the so and so things, and what are the things it can be available in that particular area, and what are the things that are fruit or the grains or the tubers, what I told you. So these are the things where it is available, they know particularly about it. But when we people go there, will not be. Why? Because we are not new to it. If I ask you to move around your city, each and every area you can move, because as we are habituated to live in the cities and they are habituated to live in the forest, right? So this is the difference that we found difficult to live in the forest, but this is a home to the earliest people as they started living there by through the hunting, by through collecting the fruits, by through collecting the edible grains, and also by through collecting the tubers, which is like a potatoes. Okay, from the ground surface we will be getting the sweet potatoes, some other, like the carrots. So this kind of things were called as a tubers, where they used to find out from. But when they have excavated all these things, we would like to know that we just come to know that these are the things which are also present in the ground. If they were not able to know this all the things, okay, then we would not get such kind of things, because they keep on research in that particular area. As we are discussing that these early people do the hunting, right? Their main thing is that they'll hunt the animals and they'll take the animals, they'll consume that particular animals what they are hunting. Am I right? But this is not an easy task to do so. It needs a lot of focus. Okay, it needs a lot of presence. It needs a lot of research to hunt that wild animal. Why? Because first, to do something, we should know the work of that particular thing. For example, to write your exam, to write your social exam, what you have to do? You have to study the portion what they are giving to you. Yes or no? So after reading the portion only, then only you are able to attend the question answers or the bits, whatever they are giving in the paper. In the same way, if they want to hunt an animal, they will have a thorough study of that particular animal. Where does it live? Where does it drink water? Where does it get food from it? Okay, all these things they'll have a note, because if they miss somewhere, they could get that particular animal some other area. So in such a way, there is a deep preparation, or else the deep thorough of that animal is being done to hunt that particular animal. So in this way, the earliest people task is not so easy what we are discussing. Simply they'll just hunt the animals, they'll collect the fruits and they'll eat the food. This is not an easy task, I'm telling you children. Even this is also done by through many and many research that they have done. But they don't know the word that they are doing the research on the surface of the ground or research in that particular forest. So without knowing, they made all these miracles, they made all these changes. There are many changes, there are many things that they brought in front of us. Let us discuss about them now in detail. Okay. The first one, that is of stone tools. Yes children, when we talk about the stone tools, right? Now see, for example, to mix some the food, or to mix some to make the flour, your mother is using the grinder, that is of machine, right? And also not only that, we have knives which are made of steel as well as iron. And if you see nowadays we can also get the plastic knives where we can cut. There are different innovations have been created for the making of the tools, right? Not only this particular, there are many tools. For example, the apple cutters we have, watermelon cutters we have. These are the different innovations that we are making with the help of a steel, iron, as well as a by using the different machinery equipments, right? But they don't have any sort of machinery equipments in those days. Okay, as they don't have any sort of machinery equipments in those days. How they used to do? How they used to make the stone tools? So what they used to do is, in the early stage, okay, in the early stage what they used to do, they used to take a big stone, okay, the big stone, and for that edges they used to sharp the edges by chipping with another stone, okay, by chipping with another stone. For example, in this way, okay, in this way they used to make the edges very sharp, okay. With that stone tools they used to use for the purpose of hunting, for the purpose of collection of the fruits and taking the bark from the trees, all these materials that they have used. Later, after few years, okay, after few years or after 1,000 years, what they did, they started making little small stones. With the help of small stones, they started making their tools. Okay, with that tools, for example, let me show you. This is just imagine that this is a small stone. Again, with the help of the chipping, they made this as very sharp at the edges. Okay, when this stone become very sharp, it can give the good texture of the sharpness at the edge. When we do the chipping, we will get a good texture of the the sharpness over the edge. So what they used to do, this one they used to put it for the stick, wood, right? For the wood they used to place it, or else they used to place it in the form of a sickle. They also use this stone in the form of axe, sickle, as in this way they made their own tools for purpose of hunting the animals, collecting the fruits, okay, and peeling off the skin of the animals for the purpose of the cloth. Okay, they don't have any cloth. They used to wear the cloth where they used to get this the skin, from the skin of the animal, from the animal's skin they used to wear the cloths. In these ways that they used with the help of these stone tools. Okay, even children, if you go to the museums, okay, if you go to any museum, you can find these stone tools which were used by the earliest people. There are many tools which were used. This small stone tool, they were called as microliths. Okay, they were called as microliths. Microliths are nothing but the small tool that they have used for the purpose of handling themselves, to just scare away of the animals, okay, or to hunt the animals, okay, or to collect the fruits. In this way, these stone tools were used by these people. And not only that, later after the 1,000, what they did, they started making more small stones, and these stones helped them to work on more easily. Okay, they started living near the area where they are making the stones, where they can found the stones. So that place particularly we call it as a factory site. See, as they need to make the stone tools, they have to go every day in search of searching for the tools, because the hard rocks or the hard stone can only give such kind of tool, right? That hard rock can only give such kind of tool. So for that, every day they have to travel from that particular area. So what they did, they started being that particular area, and they started making that area as a factory site where they were engaged in making of these stone tools. Okay, and not only that, see, when they are living in this area, so we can say that this is a factory come home site, as they are living habitation site, as they are living there and working there, right? So as they are living there and working there, living comes under the habitation, that is of house, okay, and the factory, it comes under the area where they are working. So in this way, the early people started making of the stones, and also they formed a different kind of the structure of the the tools which are made with the help of the stones. Okay, now these stones day by day, okay, these stones day by day, they started increasing of their levels, and these tools with the location, they also found these people, and they also worked on their the site every day and night. They started working on it. Okay, day and night they were engaged in making of certain tools. When they are working day and night, obviously we can see, so during that time there was a beautiful thing that these people have created, that is a discovery of fire. Okay, that is the discovery of fire. As I told you that the day and night these people were engaged in making of the stone tools, right? So when they are engaged in making of, see for example, if you see, when they rub the two stones, when we rub the two stones, we can see some sparkles, right? When we rub the two stones, we can see some sparkles. See, when we are playing, okay, for example, you all have seen the matchbox, right? So to fire that stick, what we do, we used to just chip the matchstick, right? So that immediately we can see the, you know, the light which we are getting from that. So that is of chemical that we are applying to it, but there is no chemical, and we are using purely the stones by through the chipping, by through the rubbing of these two stones, okay, by through the rubbing of these two stones, we can see the sparkles of the fire, okay. So this sparkle of the fire turned into a discovery of fire by the early people, okay. This sparkle leads to turn to the discovery of fire. And not only the stones, but also with the help, if they rub the two wood sticks, you just see children, even not only with the stones, even with the help of the wood also we can get it, okay. With the help of wood also, if you just rub these wood pieces, we can also get the fire. So in that way, these people have discovered the fire. After the discovery of fire, see, they feel that they have done something, they have achieved something. So before that, what happened? They used to eat only the raw food, okay. Directly they used to hunt the animal and they used to eat without any cooking or without any roastings, okay. They don't have any particular taste that it is in this, it is in that particular taste, okay. They used to eat the raw food directly, and even they don't know the grains also how to cook, and the fruits directly they have eaten. Anyhow, fruits will be eating, but what about the food that we cook and we will eat, but they don't know that, because they are new to the area, because they are new to the earth, right? So in the same way, after the discovery of fire, they started roasting their food, they started cooking their food, okay. When they started roasting the food, they felt a little tasty. Then what they did, they turned it as one of their habituation, and they started cooking of their food with the help of this fire. And not only that, as you know that these early people used to live in the caves, right? They used to live in the caves. When they live in the caves, if you see, if you go to in the daytime itself, if you get into the cave, you can see the dark lights, because as it is under the ground, or as it is covered with a big stones, big rocks, we can see the darkness in the cave, right? So to see, before the fire, before the discovery of fire, they were habituated to live in the darkness, but after discovery of fire, they started using this fire to lighten in their caves. And not only that, there are certain wild animals, because in the night they have a threat from the wild animals, okay. To scare away these wild animals, to far off these wild animals, what they did, they used this fire to make them scared of it, okay. So that these animals couldn't enter, they cannot enter into the caves. So in that way, they started making a fire using in the caves, okay. So what are the things that they have used with the fire? So fire turned them to cook the food. So that is nothing but they started cooking, okay. They started using as light, right? And then what they did, the scare of the animals, right? Right? And next what they did, see, during, for example, if you are in the winter season, obviously we will feel very cool, right? So when we are at home, when we close all the doors on everything, even though we feel very cool, but when they are living in the forest, obviously it is very difficult to them to leave, right? So they started using this fire for the heaten the area. Okay, in this way they used this fire as in the form of a different measures and different techniques, and they started implementing in their life. So this is all about the fire and how these earliest people started using the fire into their daily life. Now next let us discuss about the next topic, that is a nomadic life. Nomadic life. Nomadic life is nothing but in the 1000 years ago, these early people used to live together in small groups. Okay, they all they don't have any sort of joint family or nuclear family, right, or some other families. Okay, they all used to live together in small groups. So these group of people used to live collectively. Whatever the food they get, they used to share equally. Okay, so these small group of people, they doesn't have any particular area which is fixed to them. Okay, they doesn't have any particular area that they are going to live in that particular area for a long period of time. So what they used to do, these people used to move from one place to another place. Okay, they used to move from one place to another place in search of food. For what purpose they will be moving, Nana? In search of food. See, when they are living in this particular area, everything has completed. You know, if it is of a dry season, which is of summer season, they couldn't get anything over here. Then obviously they have to move to the other area where they can get some fruits or where they can get some food. Right? In this kind of situation, these people habituated themselves to move from one area to another area. So this kind of life is called as a nomadic life, and the people who move from one place to another place, such group of people or such people are called as nomads. As you all studied about these nomads in the desert areas, right? I think you people have discussed about the hot deserts, desert areas, how the nomads will be moving here and there, and what are the caravans that they will be carrying along with them, and they used to travel a long journey, and not only that, they will be having the animals with them. So even the same kind of life was being adopted by those people, by those Bedouins, through this hunters and gatherers. So this is one kind of a life where the hunters and gatherers used to live to get the food. Okay. As we have seen here, the early humans started making of their tools, right? And they discovered the fire, right? And they started living their life as in the form of a nomadic life, right? The next important thing that we will discuss now, that is of paintings. So I know, children, when the paintings comes in your mind, you will be having a different opinion on the painting, if you like the different painting styles and if you like the different. But you know, there are the few certain things, when the word painting raises, everyone remembers only the one, that is a cave painting. Am I right? Yes or no? So these cave paintings give a lot of things to these early people, as they became more important, as they become more precious in their life by through this one of the lifestyle of them, that is of paintings. And these paintings, that is one of the beautiful source that they left for us by collecting the information, by observing that picture, right? You all know the historians, you all know the archaeologists, right? So they used to collect this information from one of the source, that is of paintings. Okay, and when it comes to the paintings, you know only the word cave paintings, right? So they used to make the paintings on the walls of the cave as well as rocks. You know, the big rocks can be seen in the when we walk, when we go here and there in the forest, we can see the big rocks, right? We can see the big hills also. Even for this also, they just made the painting style. It means that is nothing but their own life they have created, they have put in the format of a painting. So this is one of the beautiful source that these hunters and gatherers left to us. So how they made these paintings? You know, there are different kinds of stones can be found on the ground. If you observe, you can see the different colors. When you go to the rivers and when you go to the, you know, the hill areas or the mountain areas, you can see the stones which are of beautiful colors. And not only that, if you can, I think many of you are having the aquariums, right? In that aquariums also you can see the beautiful colors of the stones, right? So each and every color is having a unique, and each and every stone is different from one to another. So we are not going to add any sort of ingredients to make it a colorful, because as it is of a natural source where we are extracting from the ground surface. In the same way, one thing children, whatever the things which are used, which are made by these hunters and gatherers or the earliest people, they used particularly only the natural resources, natural sources. Apart from that, they did not mix any sort of, you know, the chemicals to make some things. Okay, even here also, whatever the colors or requirement that they need, they just made it with the help of the stones which are available to them. Okay, see, the stones will be vary from one place to another place. If you walk, you can find the different colors of stones on the ground, right? In the same way, they have collected that colorful stones and they made it, they did grinding of it, and they made the fine powder, and with the help of, you know, as we discussed that they used to hunt the animals, right? When they hunt the animals, they used to extract the fat from the animals. So that fat, what they did, they used in the mix of this powder and made it in the form of a paint color. Okay, so with this, with the help of this particular ingredient, with the help of this particular thing, they started making of paintings on the walls of caves as well as on the rocks by using the different colors. Okay, as in these paintings, in these cave painting by the hunters and gatherers, we just come to know mostly how they used to hunt the animals and what are the tools that they used to hunt the animals, and how they started living themselves in the areas when they are moving from one place to another areas, and how they face the problems. You know, not only, see, we cannot say that there is no problem for these hunters and gatherers, as they can wander very happily. There are many problems which were faced by these people, because, you know, we can see, we can observe the different seasons. All the seasons we cannot see. If we are having all these kind of circumstances, even though we feel that very difficult to face the summer season. Am I right? Then you just think about the 1000 years ago, how these people used to live in the forest areas without any shadows. They used to take care of themselves only the shadow of the tree. But if I ask you to sit under the shadow of tree, you feel very difficult, right? You feel very difficult to sit under a tree, and you want the air conditions. Without that, you feel that it is very horrible to live in the summer season. But you know, such position or such problems were faced by the hunters and gatherers. So all these problems, all these things, they have made it, they have created a story and put it in the form of a, you know, the painting. So from these we can know, we can learn how they collected the fruits, how they started growing the plants, how they started hunting the animals, and how they discovered the fire, what are the uses of the fire, everything they made it into the format of this particular paintings. Okay, okay children, in this way they made the different colors of the paintings, and these paintings helped us to know about the lifestyle of the hunters and gatherers. Okay. Children, you are thinking that they made this different kind of texture of the colors, right? And you used to have an doubt,
Madam, how they used to paint? They don't have brushes at that particular time, right? This is what the doubt which raises in your mind, right? Now if you see, we have a different number of the brushes, like 0 to 5, 8, the large, small to the large, we have a different number of the sizes of the brush. But they doesn't have any sort of things in those days. But how they made the brushes naturally? This is what which is raising in your mind. I'll just clear it. See, you all know the bamboo tree. Am I right? So you all know the bamboo tree. The bamboo tree, that with the help of that bamboo tree, you can see the leaf, the bamboo leaf and the bamboo tree. You can see the leaf which is of a different shape. So with the help of this, what they did, they started making the use of a brush. Okay, they made the natural brush for the painting. Okay, and this bamboo tree, with the help of this bamboo tree, they turned this bamboo tree as in the form of brush, and they started making the paintings with the help of this natural brush which were used by the hunters and the gatherers. Okay, so this is what the painting that they made it. Okay.